Y'all ready to blaze away or what?
So before we talk about this issue that's going on with fighting games, I first want to talk about Mortal Kombat and how successful it is. Because Mortal Kombat is kind of the laughing stock of the FGC, right? A lot of people take every opportunity on earth to make fun of Mortal Kombat for how it looks, for how the animations are, for the graphics, for the story, for everything. People make fun of Mortal Kombat. But what is so surprising about that game is how its sales is far greater than any other fighting game that it is compared with. And that was true for past Mortal Kombats, and the same is now true for this Mortal Kombat. If we take a look at the top selling games in the US for March, you can see that when Tekken 8 first released, it was number 3 on the list. Helldivers was 1, Call of Duty was 2. Helldivers also, they fell off hard. They made a lot of weird decisions along the course of their game, and they basically cut down the player base significantly. You could kind of say the same thing has happened with Tekken 8. They had many unnecessary controversies in terms of shops, battle pass, monetization. You can even throw balancing in there. A lot of people feel like the balancing of this game is very confusing, and they ask for huge improvements. Mortal Kombat was probably like into its 6th month at that time, maybe like 4 or 5, and it was number 19 on the list. When we take a look at an updated sales, this is for the month of June. You can see that Helldivers has fell to number 4. Tekken 8 is completely off the list altogether, but remaining holding its position in 19 is still Mortal Kombat 1. And this is the fascinating thing about this game. No matter how low the numbers are at tournaments, no matter what people say about the game online, it maintains one of the best sellers for a very, very long time. What I also want to show you guys is the best selling fighting games of all time and also the best selling franchises. This is number 1 through 15. Smash Ultimate takes 1, Street Fighter 2 takes 2, Smash Bros for the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U takes 3, and then you have Mortal Kombat 11 at 4th with 15 million copies. You have Mortal Kombat X at 6. People say Mortal Kombat 11 was one of the worst of all time and it broke records. This is why Mortal Kombat 1 looks a lot like Mortal Kombat 11. You can even say the same thing for Tekken 8. Tekken 7 sold 11.8 million copies. It's no wonder Tekken 8 is taking everything that Tekken 7 has done and is like taking it to the next level, is pushing it a little bit. But the point that I'm trying to make is that everyone says all this stuff about Mortal Kombat, but it continues to outperform. When you look at the best selling franchises of all time, Mortal Kombat is number 1. Now Smash is kind of a close second, and that is largely credited by Smash Ultimate selling 34 million copies, so that makes up almost half of its complete sales, right? Now Tekken and Street Fighter is still in the mid 50s, so they're nowhere near Mortal Kombat. What's interesting about this list as well, Harada was very proud of this, but Tekken 7 selling 11.8 million copies and Street Fighter 5 kind of doing lackluster is what allowed Tekken as a franchise to surpass Street Fighter. If you go back to the best selling fighting games of all time, you can see Street Fighter 5 is 7.4 million. So just that little bit there allowed Tekken 7 to surpass it. Now with Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1, we'll see what these numbers look like. These games are very early in their lives and there's still a lot of growing to do, but you can just see how regardless of what everyone says, Mortal Kombat is number 1 in terms of sales. And that is what makes Mortal Kombat so special and so different from all of the other fighting games that it's competing with. In my opinion, I think all of the fighting games have their own like traits. Like Street Fighter is kind of the king of fighting games. It literally birthed the genre. And as such, it's kind of like more known, more popular, a lot more references throughout pop culture and music. Mortal Kombat, however, is like the US fighting game. It's the only one that has like US roots and the only one that has violence and gore and blood. It has a very niche identity as well. Now Tekken in the 3 is a little bit lesser known nowadays. Like people kind of know more about it following the huge success that Tekken 7 was, but still a lot more people know about Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and Tekken 7 and Tekken 8 always feel like they're making up for lost ground and always feel like they're trying to play catch up. no matter how good their game is or how better their game is, they're still just trying to play catch up because the franchise name isn't as strong, in my opinion, factor into one another. There's things I could say about Smash and Guilty Gear as well, but this video will be far too long. The next part that I want to talk about is this tweet here, where it says, stop defending hashtag Mortal Kombat 1. And once again, I think Tekken and also Street Fighter is in the same bucket. This has 103,000 views / impressions and almost 2,000 likes. And basically what it is, it just simply showcases all the different skins and color combination that Spawn has, and it compares it to Homelander, and you have a bunch of question marks. Now, here's the thing about fighting games. It's no surprise that a lot of these companies are putting their money and their profits first. They're doing very predatory things like trying to get rid of mods because they feel mods compete with them being able to sell skins. But then when you look at the skins that they're selling, one is either lazy, two, it's either reselling old things that used to be free or not free but just come naturally on the CD that you purchased. So they're cutting content and they're giving you less, but then they're selling you that extra that they removed for more money. And you see this across the board with Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken, and even Multiverses is doing some egregious things. And I just wonder, one, where does this road lead us? 2, where does it end? And 3, how much more will they do? How much further will they push this envelope of trying to like milk the games? We're seeing crazy things done in terms of monetization and marketing, and at times it's coming at a cost to the game itself. We see these games like delay features like story for Tekken or balance updates. Some characters will maintain broken or maintain like they won't, basically instead of patching the game, doing balance changes and things of that sort, the company is instead putting their team on creating new outfits, new skins, and more monetization. We've seen that with Tekken, where the first thing that they introduced into the game was a store and a shop. And at that time, there's a lot of other things that the game needs, and you can argue we still need things. We still need like the online practicing, but the developers as it stands is not yet getting to those things, and instead just focusing on the pushing of skins. And it's very successful, right? They sell a lot of these skins. They make a lot of money off of this stuff. But I just wonder, when you really talk about gaming as a whole, because this isn't a problem that's just exclusive to fighting games, but I wonder, with gaming as a whole going downhill, you see more and more flops being put out. I just wonder, when will the game start to focus more less on this and more on just making a really good profit? You have games like Elden Ring, who is like literally doing incredible things simply because they're just trying to make a good game that's fun, and they're not really trying to do any pay to win or any monetization. But that's really it. You don't see that kind of game design. Most companies just go the cheap, easy route of pumping skins into the game and then milking the profits from it. And I wonder, where does it end? And also, when will the players, like the tweet says, stop defending this behavior?